I'll be honest, I didn't watch this entire interview. If I'm real honest, I only got through the first 5 minutes or so. While there are some things I agree with Peterson on when it comes to the Arab world, Israel, and how he views the Palestine issue, I just can't. I can't listen to someone that is so separated from the people, the culture, and the religion that was brought up by Western culture and all the propaganda that entails when it comes to the Arab world, Islam and Muslims in particular, as well as Palestine. And honestly, it's not just Peterson, but the majority of the talking heads in the media. Even Piers Morgan, during his interview with Bassem, which I highly recommend watching, said that he doesn't know much about the Palestine conflict and isn't an authority on the subject. Yet he still managed to get overly defensive when he didn't need to be, especially for someone that just admitted to not knowing much, along with his touting of typical Western media ideological spin and labeling that has been one of the main reasons why the pro-Israel stance has such a large following, especially from those that, because of media propaganda, instinctually go to a pro-Israel stance even when they know little to nothing of the substance of the issues. Going back to Peterson. Peterson is emblematic of so many things when it comes to the misguided and disjointed view and opinions people have of the Arab world. With by far the biggest pet peeve, at least to me, is Peterson's embodiment of the many failures when it comes to addressing the Arab world, and that is his and many others, including Pierce's, penchant in talking at rather than with the actual Arab people. Peterson is emblematic of the posture so many in media and the podcast world have in talking at Arabs, telling them and the world their opinions, their beliefs, and an all too often, this is how you should respond to your situation. Do things this way and you'll be fine kind of attitude. I've seen this my whole life. So many times people are just talking at, not with, Arabs, Muslims, or Palestinians. And when you're talking at someone, there is no room for an actual conversation to truly learn and see things from their perspective. To me personally, I feel like this has been the purposeful design when it comes to the Arab world. The Arab world is a shroud of mystery to many. I won't pretend like there aren't barriers to entry. Language is one of the biggest factors that separates the West from the Arab world, but there is also a religious and cultural shroud of mystery. And it's that mystery that I would say has been the biggest detriment to the Arab world and their perceptions from others. I won't sugarcoat it. Arabs are not overly trusting, and I think many now would understand why. But the shrouding of mystery is why the Western world in particular has the views and perceptions of the Arab world that they do. The mystery has allowed the propaganda machine to perpetuate harmful stereotypical portrayals of Arabs, many depicting them as womanizers, very dark, brooding features, overly aggressive, quick to anger, extremely religious, lending to the fanatical displays in a lot of media, and of course, cannot be forgotten, the quintessential terrorist. Ooh, so scary. I'm not going to pretend like there aren't some Arabs that fit those stereotypes either. Stereotypes exist for a reason. They start somewhere. But it's when they are used as a broad brush of an entire group of people that it becomes problematic. In the Arab world, their portrayals in media, if they even get them, are incredibly single-minded, stereotypical depictions that don't even attempt to scratch the surface of a world that, once people get to know them, will see the generosity, the importance of family and faith, how faith is a part of their culture, and that culture is an amalgamation of, if not two, sometimes three faiths: Islam, Christianity, and yes, Judaism. The Arab world is beautiful. The people are varied and dynamic, with much the outside world could learn from them, and also vice versa. Peterson's tendency to talk at rather than with the Arab world is commonplace. So many people do it. So many people are quick to display their solidarity for this or that, to believe a particular thing, because that's what they've been taught to do, with very little real-world knowledge and understanding. Like I said, Peterson is not the only one doing this. There's so many examples, it would be difficult to put them all in one place. And I know that the Petersons of the world are not going to change overnight. But what I do hope is that as the floodgates of what's happening in Gaza continues to flow on social media and showing the absolute devastation, hopelessness because of the failures of the outside world, and the overt display of absolute depravity that the state of the far-right Zionist Israeli regime is inflicting on innocent civilians Palestinians, including children in the thousands, will awaken people to the many problems that have led to this issue. One of the biggest being the role the Western media has played on the Arab world and the media's capitulation to the state of Israel and Israel's many, many organizations and individuals that demand submission to ideological rhetoric favoring Israel. There's a large hill to climb when it comes to the Arab world and people having real representation and a voice in not just media, but also the body politic as a whole. I hope that as the Arab world continues to show their beautiful solidarity and support to Palestine, that more room can be made at the table for conversation and talking with and listening to the Arab world, rather than sidelining them and expecting them to listen when a lot of people won't even let them speak. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please hit that like button and also subscribe so that you don't miss out on new videos coming out every single week. And let me know down in the comments what you think. As always, stay safe, take care, and be kind to each other.